Now, you touched on Pramila. I do want to ask you about the endorsement,
Sure.
because she is one of the most progressive people in Congress when you look at her record. Undoubtedly, you can't take anything away from that. But she endorsed Adam Smith over you, and I tweeted about it. Some progressives are a little bit hurt by it. So I just wanted to get your response.
Of course. So I completely understand. And when we were first asked about it, it took my team 15, 20 minutes to find the endorsement at all. So it tells me a lot. The endorsement is nothing she's announced. There was an original reporter who dug into the story, Walter Yates, and he went through her social media for, I think he said it like about 3 months or 3 weeks or something like that. He went through for a prolonged period of time, Twitter, Facebook, emails, everything, not a whisper of it. And it's not even listed on her campaign website. It's actually listed on her House of Representatives websites, on her endorsement document at the very bottom. And I've got to say, it tells me a lot about what I need to know about that endorsement. From, if I had to wager a guess, some kind of agreement was arrived at, some kind of backdoor deal got taken or took place. And it's convenient for me to look at to see, oh, okay, Adam co-sponsored her bill. Oh, and she endorsed him. Gee, I wonder if those things are tied together. So I try to keep in the back of my mind that she is also still a representative in Congress who's trying to fight to get legislation passed. And I think that she is, it doesn't seem to me like an endorsement she's singing from the rooftops. So it's entirely possible a deal was made in order to help her get legislation passed or co-sponsored or something like that. And she was strong-armed. And I choose to believe that because Pramila has been about progressive values from the beginning. She always has been. And I try to choose to believe, to see the good in people and see the circumstance and the whole picture. So to me, I think this was a strong arming more than anything. I think something like a big push against it, if people are really enthusiastic about that, if they really want her to change her endorsement, I mean, of course, I'm fine with it. I totally understand and agree and would love to have an endorsement from Pramila Jayapal. But I think that if that's something we want to push on, I don't think that's going to be a hard thing to make happen if the progressive movement can coalesce and put some pressure. Because I mean, you know, Ro Khanna, he's amazing. He did the right thing. He stepped up. He dual endorsed, and he's reached out to me and he's like, hey, just so you know, I'm not going to get involved in your race, but I think what you're doing is amazing. Let me know if you need anything. So I think that's the right attitude to take, because personally, whether or not there's a deal there, whether or not there's something on the table, whether or not you're going to get something out of it, I think that if you have another progressive running in a race, if you have another Justice Democrat, a slate member, something like that, and you're being pushed to endorse, just stay out. Just don't endorse at all. That's, I think, the best practice is silence in those cases. Nobody can force you to endorse. And at some point you have to just stand on your morals and say, absolutely not. But I understand that Congress is complicated and hard. And so I'm trying to be empathetic, regardless of my own personal feelings about it.
Right. And I get where you're coming from, because you may be in that position where there's going to be a new slate of Justice Democrats in 2020. And, you know, it's going to be awkward for you to endorse people who aren't your colleagues. So I think that you have a really a measured response to this, because when I saw it, I had that visceral, what the hell, you know?
Me too. At first.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because, you know, endorsements, they mean a lot. I don't necessarily know the weight that, you know, that endorsement will have, you know, in Washington's 9th congressional district. But it's just kind of like, you know, if you're really trying to basically further this progressive movement, you know, you got to come out and show us that you're fighting on the ground with us. So yeah,
exactly.
Thanks for responding to that. That was something that I definitely wanted to get your take. I saw that today and I'm like, oh, I'm talking to Sarah. So perfect.
Yes. And I completely understand everyone and their feelings about it. I totally understand. I absolutely share it. But I think as far as whether or not it holds any weight, I mean, the Washington State Democratic Party Progressive Caucus has endorsed me. Demand Universal Healthcare has endorsed me.
Awesome.
Progressive Party endorsed me. Our Revolution King County and Pierce County endorsed me. DSA and Olympia endorsed me. So it really doesn't carry a big weight if you can't get any other progressive organizations on board with you. And I think that's part of the reason why it's so difficult to find.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.